You may be seated. Good evening, everyone. My name is Todd Justice, and I'm the principal here at Northeastern High School. Welcome to our 65th annual commencement exercises. If you will indulge me, I would like to take a few minutes before we begin. When I was first moving into the principal's office, I found a basket full of keys. Big keys, little keys, old keys, new keys, straight keys, and keys that, I must say, looked as though they may have been sat on a time or two by a principal or two. I had no idea what the keys, any of the keys were for. Still, one key way at the bottom of that basket stood out above all the others. Now, I'm not sure why this particular key got my attention. There were shinier ones, but this key had a shine that can only come from years of wear. There were smoother ones, but this key was smooth from years of being held between a finger and a thumb. Quite simply, it looked as though it had been through the ringer. I was hooked. A mystery had to be solved. What was this key for? I sat this key on my desk just off to the side where it has stayed each day of this year. Eventually, I found that this key was the master key to the original front doors of Northeastern High School. When the doors were replaced with our current doors, the key found itself out of a job and eventually to the bottom of that basket. This key is a treasure. It is a symbol of all of the thousands of students and hundreds of staff who have traveled these hallways for over almost 70 years. I do not deserve this treasure, but I would like to present it this evening to someone who does. This man has walked these halls like no one else, as a student in the first graduating class, as an alumnus, as a teacher, as an athletic director, as an assistant principal, and as a principal. In fact, he has attended 63 of the 65 commencement exercises at Northeastern High School. But I assure you, those two absences weren't excused. This man has been a mentor to me, a guiding light to this school, and I'm proud to call him my friend, Mr. Roger Woodworth. Also, many of us here tonight are mourning the loss of someone whom we wish were here to share this wonderful night. Our Northeastern family is no different. Earlier this year, Mr. Darren Bankley left us far too soon, and we miss him terribly. We have left the first seat in the staff seating area vacant to honor him and his memory. Would all who have served or are serving our country in the armed forces please stand and be recognized? We have a few who are going to join you. Would Asher Nowak, United States Marine Corps, Cody Wall, United States Navy, and Cheyenne Wagner, Ohio National Guard, please join me on stage. These students have enlisted and have been duly sworn to serve our country in the United States Armed Forces. I commend them on this decision, and I hereby present each of them with a red, white, and blue honor cord signifying their decision to serve our country. And now, would all who are able please stand for the presentation of the colors by the United States Marine Corps and remain standing for our national anthem and our alma mater sung by the Northeastern High School Choir.
Good evening, friends, family, and faculty. Thank you for joining us to celebrate this exciting moment. It is one that we have been eagerly awaiting. Tonight marks the beginning of a new chapter in our lives, and the book is just getting started. Fellow classmates, it's finally here. All of the sleepless nights of procrastination have finally paid off. This ceremony is to celebrate all of our hard work and the memories we have made at Northeastern High School. It is for remembering the past, celebrating the present, and looking forward to the future. Don't take these moments for granted, because we will never be able to have this back. I'm so thankful to spend this moment with all of you, the end of a journey and the beginning of another. For some of us, it began here in this building. I remember walking through these halls in preschool thinking, wow, I can't wait to feel that tall and grown up. Now that I'm here, I don't feel very tall or grown up. However, every time a group of preschoolers walk by, I smile because I know, to them, I am not high schooler. We've grown up to be the people that we admire. And when I look out today, I see a lot to admire. I see so many people that I have grown up with, from elementary rocket tests through the embarrassing phase of middle school that we pretend didn't happen, and now here, our graduation day. I will always remember these memories and the friendships that have taught me to love every second of this beautiful life I've been blessed with. And we cannot forget the people who have also taught us many important lessons. To our faculty, we are eternally grateful for the imprint you have left in our lives. Also, we are sorry for always procrastinating and allowing senioritis to get the best of us. Even through all the stress we made you endure, your passion for teaching never faded. We cannot thank you enough for that. I will always treasure the things you've taught me as both educators and mentors. It is likely that our most supportive mentors, however, are sitting in the stands, our families. They are the ones who have seen us grow from curious babies to young men and women who are ready to face the world. There is no way that we could be here without their presence in our lives, which is why I'm so grateful for the parental figures that have provided for the student body. You have helped make it possible for your children to receive their diplomas tonight. It is an incredible honor and a privilege that I am able to stand here today and tell you how influential Northeastern has been in my life. No matter where life takes me, I will always remember how special this community is. My prayer for us moving forward is that we are always able to pause, reflect, and enjoy every moment. And now, because it's the end of a speech, I'm going to say thank you, because that's what you do at the end of a speech. And because I really am thankful. And because we have spent the last 4 years being brats to our parents and teachers. So thank you for your endless support and tolerance. These past 14 years in this district have been incredible. Although moving on is scary, I am confident in the path laid out for me. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. Jeremiah 29:11. Again, thank you and welcome. I would now like to introduce Dr. John Cronauer, Superintendent of the Northeastern Local School District.
Thank you, Zoe. It is my privilege to serve as the superintendent of the Northeastern Local Schools, a district I am very proud of, and a district that I believe May 8th took an incredibly large step forward with the passage of our bond issue. And for that, I want to thank all of you who voted and made this district what it is today. Thank you. I'd like to do some introductions. Our board president, Mrs. Jill Parker. Vice President, Mr. Joel Augustus. Board member, Dr. John Crankshaw. Board member, Mr. Steve Switzcable. And board member, Mr. Jeff Yanger. Thank you for your service. Central Office Administration, our new treasurer, Mr. Dale Miller. Mr. Sean Blazer, Assistant Superintendent. Steve Winston, our Director of People Personnel Services. Mr. John Schmidt, who's doing the live broadcast out here, our Technology Director. Mr. Chris James, Executive Director of the CTC. And Mrs. Denise Jones, principal at South Vienna Elementary. I know our staff doesn't really need an introduction, but I do think they deserve another round of applause for the knowledge they have imparted to these students. Thank you for what you do. I know it's warm in here, so I will do just one last thing and then sit down and keep moving. I would like all of the parents, grandparents, significant others to these graduates to please stand. Graduates on the floor, class of 2018. Please make eye contact with that person who has meant so much in your life and has helped get you to where you are today. And then I would ask that just the graduates give a round of applause to those people that are standing for their work with you, their love for you. Thank you. Great job. Good luck, class of 2018. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Cronauer. The President of the Northeastern Local School District Board of Education, Ms. Jill Parker, will now name the Salutatorian and Valedictorians of this year's graduating class.
Good evening, and let me just say congratulations to the class of 2018. It's my privilege tonight to introduce your class valedictorians and salutatorian. Over the years, I've personally been blessed to learn a few things about high-achieving students. For some, good grades come easily. Others put in hours of homework and study for every A that they earn. Some are fiercely independent. Others more willing to ask for help when needed. Yes, they're usually very smart, hardworking, and goal-oriented students. But the single thing that they always all have in common is this: wonderful teachers who first encourage them to aim high and then support them while they make the climb. The four being honored this evening are no exception. They are outstanding students who have also excelled outside the classroom in everything from sports to the stage. And they are leaders in their class, in their churches, and in their community. It is with great pleasure and no small amount of pride that I introduce to you the salutatorians and valedictorians of the Northeastern High School class of 2018. Beginning with salutatorian Allie Davis.
We didn't practice with that before.
And now, having completed their high school career maintaining a perfect 4.0 GPA, I present to you the valedictorians, beginning with Griffin Messer.
So tonight is all about our accomplishment, what we've done so far in our lives. And I could choose to talk about all of the moments from our now finishing high school careers. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I hope to leave you all with a message. So here we go. We all strive to write a story with our lives. A story that, at the end of it, we can look back and be satisfied with. And whether that resides in the back of the mind or the bottom of the heart, I promise it's still there in all of us, whether or not we'd like to admit it. And these stories that we so dream of are different for every single one of us. If you're anything like me, you dream of adventure, of being a diplomat who mends foreign relations and saves the world with his words. But again, if you're like me, the story of an English professor, aka my mother, sounds absolutely terrible. But yet, there are still some that the English professor route sounds great, and the diplomat is exactly the opposite of what they'd like. Well, we don't have to write each other's stories. Thankfully, the only authoring we have to do is our own. And it's all about writing a story that you, and only you, want for yourself. And unfortunately, I feel as if many fall short. Stories are being written, but far too many authors are settling for stories that they aren't quite satisfied with. So today, despite my reservation against becoming an English teacher, we will all be getting one last English lesson. So today's topic deals in the art of the narrative, and that's the story, for those of you that didn't pay attention in English class. So I'm going to attempt to lay out a few ideas that, when applied to writing our lives, can make the difference between writing the best story we can for ourselves and writing a story that, in 60 years, we fall asleep reading. I feel I do need to clarify something, though, before we really get into it. Not every story has to be a Bond film. Everyone loves a story that keeps you on the edge of your seat with twists and turns and action and adventure. But it's the slow stories with the hardest conflicts. The stories packed with emotion and fulfillment, love and loss, joy and depression that brings people back for a second read, and a third read, and even a fourth, because there's so much more to gain than thrill. I'm not saying that the Bond story is bad, but it lacks connection, it lacks true victory and satisfaction, and it lacks the ties to the heart that makes a story worth reading, and ultimately, even more importantly, makes a story worth writing. But please, apparently I'm as easy to get off subject as Mr. Boland, so let's get back to the lesson. So the first element of our story deals not with us, but with those around us. They are our supporting characters, so to speak. These are our sidekicks, our love interests, our mentors, and yes, even our enemies. So I'd like you to thank them. Thank the Han Solos and the Samwise Gamgees. Thank the Lois Lanes and the Peter Malarks. Thank the Yodas and the Dumbledores. And even thank the Darth Vaders and the Thanoses. These are the people that have helped to develop you as the main character of your narrative. And they've helped to bring you to the point where you are right now. So thank them. Thank your supporting roles, and as we continue to write for ourselves, look for people that will help you to shape your story in exactly the way you'd like it to be shaped. Now on to our second element, theme. The theme is different for every single one of us. It's the message you're communicating. It's what your story is really all about. It's the values and the beliefs that we are attempting to leave our audience with. So I encourage you, find your theme, because without it, you have nothing truly guiding you. You have no guiding principle, you have no North Star, and without one, it is far too easy to get lost. So find your why, find your guiding principle, find your North Star, find your theme, and live to it, or else you might get lost. So my third and final element is the hardest one to accept, and it's conflict. Anyone with more of their story written will tell you it doesn't come easy. There are always conflicts in story. There are roadblocks, sometimes they're even dead ends, but that does not mean that there isn't a path. I encourage you all to push through the roadblocks and the challenges and the hardships, because they're building you up so that the next one is not so bad. But this part requires patience. It requires trust that God will end up putting you in the role you were meant to fulfill. And it takes some faith that there is a path among the roadblocks, and that path has an end that is absolutely worth waiting for. There are plenty more pages in this book, and they're waiting to be written by an author that knows exactly what they're striving for. And remember, the very best stories are the ones where the main character overcomes the very hardest challenges. Here are my final thoughts before Mrs. Parker comes up and kicks me off the stage, so we can get on with this. I have a feeling that when I began talking about stories, someone in this room pretty immediately jumped to thinking, oh, he's going to say that stereotypical adage of ending one chapter and beginning another. And I guess that's true, I did just say that, but I don't necessarily agree with it. We are not necessarily ending one chapter and beginning another. We finished the prologue, and we have an entire book to write. So, Write a story you will be proud of, to read for yourself at the end of your life, but also a story you'll be proud to read to your children and your grandchildren and generations after them. But I implore you, never lose sight of the big picture. Far too many of us are absorbed in this page of the narrative, this paragraph, this sentence, this word, and in that we forget what we want our last page to read. We forget about the end of the path that will be so worth it to us, and we write a story that isn't quite so perfect as we've always dreamt it could be. So let's go write our stories to the very best we could ever imagine.
Next we have Valedictorian Lucy Parker.
Good evening, friends, family, and faculty. Thank you for joining us to celebrate this exciting moment. It is one that we have been eagerly awaiting. One second. Here. Okay, yep, we're ready. Well, we're off to a good start. Okay. Good evening, everyone. To all the families, friends, and teachers, thank you for coming out to celebrate the class of 2018 tonight. To the class of 2018, congratulations. Years of hard work have led up to this day. Now we get to enjoy it. For the past 4 years, since I started high school, I've been thinking, what would I say in my speech if I were a valedictorian? One idea that I always kicked around was talking about a pair of Converse that I've had since 6th grade, and about all of the steps that we as a class have taken together. Then, fittingly, in these past few weeks, I've become much more aware of exactly how many steps we take every day. So, sorry about this, but we're about to go from an English lesson to a math equation. When we were in elementary school, we typically took pretty small steps. In an average day, we walked one circuit around the elementary school wing, starting and ending at the library. We also went to and from the cafeteria, and on most days, to and from the playground. Calculating in about 3 bathroom breaks per day, that brings a total up to 6,000 steps, give or take, that we all took together each day. Of course,
course, as with any mathematical equation, there are plenty of variables present in this situation. One of these would be recess. You would have taken many more steps if you played tag every day, as opposed to, say, sitting underneath with a big tire. Another variable would be how many trips to the office you took. Some have 1 or 2 trips per week. Others have 1 or 2 per day. You know who you are. However, as elementary schoolers, we still did almost everything together as a class. The next phase in our collective life was middle school. Our lives were a little longer, so we would have taken less steps, but it was basically counteracted by the fact that we were going more places. Here, we took about 2 circles around the middle school wing per day. We still took 1 trip to the cafeteria and either the gym or band room every day, and our bathroom breaks were limited by the use of agendas. This calculates out to roughly 7,000 steps per day from 6th grade to 8th grade. In middle school, we started having the first variables that we were allowed to choose. Whether or not you played sports or took choir or band would change how many steps you took. A cross-country runner would have many more steps than, say, a volleyball player. Another factor would be school dances. If you partied it up in the center of the gym floor, or if you stuck to the walls of bleachers like they were glue. You would also have more steps if you played circle ball every single day during intramurals. In these years, we started becoming more independent and started choosing our own activities. The last leg of our journey brought us here, to Northeastern High School. Most of us grew at least a little bit more, but once again, we were given much more freedom. For the majority of us, we had a 7-class schedule each day, taking us around the high school loop at least twice. We went to the Commons a few times for lunch and maybe a study hall. We also traveled to the IMC once to check out a book, do an online lab, or ask for help when your Chromebook froze in the middle of your government project. We walked approximately 8,000 steps per day for the past 4 years. Once we got into high school, there were really too many variables to factor in all of them. For the first time in most of our lives, we didn't have the option to do every single activity that we wanted to. You could play in the marching band, which would certainly put your step count up, but for most people that would mean that you couldn't also play football, or be on the soccer team and keep a job all at the same time. We also had full control over our class schedule, so while some people were taking 3 science classes, or taking every art class they could, some people were taking 2 gym classes per semester for all 4 years. If you were in the ag class, you might have taken many more steps, but have spent less time in the classroom and a lot more time on field trips. As we got older, we were encouraged to become our own people, and we did less activities as a whole class. So, stick with me on this. 6,000 steps multiplied by 183 days by 5 years, adding in 1 year half days for kindergarten, plus 7,000 steps by 183 days by 3 years, finally added to 8,000 steps by 183 days by 4 years, subtracting about 3% to account for snow days and sick days, and adding an average of 5% for sports events and extracurriculars, brings our total up to 16,052,760 steps that we have taken together as the class of 2018. A little over 16 million steps, and every single one of them has led up to this moment. The roughly 23 steps that it takes us to cross this stage will be the last that we take together as the Northeastern class of 2018. But just because we will no longer be walking together does not mean that we stop walking. The steps that we will be taking in the next few months and years will be some of the biggest that we will ever take. These past steps may have been leading us to this night, but they have also been preparing us for the rest of our lives. Always remember that a misstep or a stumble is still an opportunity to move in the right direction. Some people already know where their next path will take them, and some might not. But no matter where you end up, every single person sitting in front of me right now has the potential to do amazing things. It's what your life has been leading you up to for the past 13 years. We learned to make an impact, to be an individual, and to keep moving forward. 16 million steps. Thank you for taking them with me.
Suchland.
1,369 days of wondering if we would make it to this day. Today marks the peak of our 1,369-day journey. We are the graduating class of 2018. Graduation is one of those awkward times in our lives when we are torn between the joy of our memories and the excitement of our future. Should we look back on what were the greatest 4 years of our lives? Times filled with happiness, from getting the win on our field report, the resounding ring of Northeastern's bell, or creating everlasting memories with the people around us? Or instead, should we focus on the next stage in this journey called life? We have been impatiently waiting for this day for 4 years, and now we just want to hit pause. We want to slow it down and enjoy the last fleeting moments. Our lives will be forever altered after we toss our caps into the air. We entered Northeastern as an unwritten book, eager to fill its pages. It seems like just yesterday, we were walking down the halls as freshmen, trying to get familiar with what we thought at the time was such a large place. It seems like just yesterday we had orientation in this very gym, preparing ourselves for the future ahead of us. We walked into Northeastern for the first time in the fall of 2014, and today, May 21st, 2018, it will be our last. As the years passed, we grew, and we learned to not allow external circumstances to define us. We created and wrote our books based on our own experiences and terms. The friends that we sit with today become additions to our family and are undoubtedly some of the main characters in our book of life. We grew up here in Springfield, where Northeastern provided us with not only a place to learn, but a true home. We were fortunate enough to experience what the meaning of being a Jet really was. It was a home for the mind and heart in its full reality. The diploma that we received represents success and achievement, but we must remember more the journey that accompanied this achievement, both the heartache and the happiness. The diploma itself is gently being stored away in our book, while the journey to attain it fills its pages. We are now set to begin the next chapter in our book. Our book will veer off from the outline that we created, for therein lies the beauty of our journey. Northeastern has instilled in us a tremendous fire, a passion for life, and a desire to make the world in which we live better. We owe it to each other, our family, our teachers, and our high school to pursue our wildest dreams, for which our teachers and classmates have pushed us to do for the last 4 years. As graduates of Northeastern High School, we can do anything. In the words of John Wooden, success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. So class of 2018, let us commit ourselves to the belief that we can accomplish anything. With this belief, our book is destined to be a bestseller. We came into high school 4 years ago with different backgrounds and different life experiences. We leave Northeastern today, 1,369 days later, as a collective unit. We are the class of 2018. No matter the different places we plan to pursue as we go our separate ways, we are all members of this one Northeastern community. Let us put aside the joy of our memories and the excitement of our future for the time being. For as Mother Teresa said, be happy in the moment. That is enough. At this moment, we are in absolute bliss. We are all Northeastern High School Jets, and it does not get any better than that. Thank you. I invite Ms. Jane Warren to the podium to recognize our honors and scholarship recipients.
The achievement of excellence is the ultimate goal of education. Tonight, I would like to recognize those students who have been awarded a thwarted distinction and to provide the achievement represented by each board. Members of the National Honor Society are wearing the blue and gold cord. Please stand. Our valedictorians and salutatorian are wearing the gold cord. Please stand. Those students who have earned an honors diploma are wearing the purple cord. Please stand. Students who have graduated with a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher are wearing the green cord. Please stand. Our class officers are wearing the blue cord. Please stand. The pink cord recognizes those students who have received music honors. Please stand. Our FFA officers are wearing the national blue and cornflower gold cord. Please stand. Those students who have enlisted and will be serving in our military have been presented with the red, white, and blue cord. Please stand. Those students who have donated blood 3 times during their high school career are wearing the red cord. Please stand. At this time, we would also like to recognize those students who, through their academic excellence, have received 1 or more scholarships. In order to properly acknowledge those individuals and organizations that have made these scholarships available, we have printed an insert included in your program. We encourage you to refer to this insert for the specific scholarships awarded to each senior. Tonight, 34 scholarship recipients will be recognized. Students, as I call your name, please stand at your seat and remain standing until the entire group has been presented. We ask that you please hold your applause until the entire list of names have been read. Evan Brandon, Logan Brown, Luke Buffenbarger, Kyla Burns, Jason Myers, Marley Byram, Jacob Calhoun, Benjamin Cochran, Savannah Combs, Sydney Combs, Zoe Doherty, Allison Davis, Skylar Davis, Kylie Farquhar, Hunter Hagy, Joshua Hay, Reed Hainig, Ida Hinderberg, Brenna Horton, Gabriel King, Brandy Lynn Lennon, Mackenzie Lynch, Griffin Messer, Lucy Parker, Logan Pollock, Jacob Queen, Laramie Reed, Jude Robley, Christian Sanders, Haley Suchland, Levi Swindle, Logan Vermillion, Jacob Yarnell, and our final scholarship recipient is Haven Rose. She's receiving the Clark State Trustee Scholarship, and we just found out about that recently after the publishing deadline. Recipients, I commend you for your academic accomplishment, for your hard work and effort. You've brought recognition to your school, pride to your family, and above all, honor to yourself. Faculty, parents, family, and friends, I invite you to join me again in a salute of these outstanding members of the class of 2018.
Board of Education, Dr. Cronauer, as principal of Northeastern High School, I certify that these students of the class of 2018 have met all requirements set forth by the Ohio Department of Education and the Northeastern Local Board of Education and are therefore qualified to receive a diploma from Northeastern High School. Please come forward as your name is called and receive your diploma from the members of the Northeastern Local Board of Education. Please hold your applause until all candidates' names have been read.
Kaylee, Virginia, Irene, Avery. Sorry.
We did practice this.
Zoe, Kai, Dowry. Allison, Nicole, Davis. Griffin, Alexander, Messer. Lucy Ann Parker. Haley Ann Sutton. Jacob Zachary Calhoun. Now, Kaylee, Virginia, Irene, Avery. Alex Michael Bates. Kayla Marie Boreski. Kennedy Paige Blanton. Jacob Matthew Bowens. Tyler Allen Bauermeister. Charles Evan Brandon. Logan Timothy Brown. Tia Marie Brown. Trevor Michael Brown. Luke Alexander Buttenbarger. Tyler Paige Burns. Jason James Byers. Marley Marie Byron. Riley Andrew Armini. Savannah Paige Carter. Tanner Ray Casey. Travis Michael Chambers. Megan Leanne Clay. Benjamin Lee Cochran. Savannah Renee Cohen. Sydney Rochelle Combs. Skylar Britton Davis. Adam Justin Dunsmere. Cassidy Lynn Ebright. Kylie Rose Farquhar. Taylor Nicole Gray. Jennifer Paige Griffith. Hunter Lee Nagy.
Joshua Michael Haig. Cordell Jordan Gratial. Bree Caitlin Koenig. Kirsten Adair Hall. Dylan Patrick Hand. Daniel Robert Elton. Destiny Marie Nicole Henry. Speed F.K. Hendrick. Brandon Lee Hopkins. Brenna Nicole Horton. Hunter Robert Powell. Michael Eugene Johnson. Sabrina Elaine Johnson. Gabriel James King. Brandon Nicole Leonard. Alexander Richard Lockwood. Mackenzie Jade Lynch. Quentin Alexander Lynn. Caitlin Michelle Lyons. Cameron S. Massey. Harley Lynn Combs. Emily Renee McKinney. Gordon Michael Meadows. Justice Daniel Miller. Nicholas James Miller. Joshua Andrew Morser. Asher Edward Vizini Noah. Nicole Shertu Owens. Harlan James Olson. Logan Christopher Pollock. Jacob Wesley Queen. Laramie J. Reed. Carson Nicole Rhodes. Michael Anthony Rice, Jr. Evan Andrew Rittenhouse. Junior Vincent Iñaco Robley. David Christina Rose. Christian Brian Sanders. Brandon Michael Shupp. Jesse Lee Sims. Tanner Lee Stratton. Levi Lauren Swindle. Zachariah Logan Tien. Lauren Mackenzie Thomas.
We love you, Lauren!
Kirsten Page Thornton Newman. Jacob Wayne Tipton. Jake Donald Truitt. Logan Cole Vermillion. Cheyenne Ryan Dakota Wagner. Cody Patrick Wall. Jacob Logan Yarnell.
Congratulations to everybody. High school. Something that brings a roller coaster of emotions to everybody. There was definitely good times and there was definitely bad times throughout our 4 years. But these memories, whether good nor bad, will be looked on and cherished forever. With being such a small school, we had the privilege of seeing each other grow up and be there for every step of the way. Thank you, parents, grandparents, and especially to the staff and teachers for giving us the opportunity that every one of us have been dreaming for. Through all the mornings that you really just didn't want to wake up, and that test that, well, didn't really do good on, we did it. So, sorry, Mr. Justice, but this is the moment we've all been waiting for. So, graduates, please stand. Move your tassels to the left. And congratulations, class of 2018.